And now we'll start talking. It's episode 131 of Inane Blather.
Right.
The
Big
podcast
episode.
where we remind everyone that...
The American people are tired of women.
And then we call it a day, you know? Every once in a while, you know, it's...
We hate all the Muslims because all of the Muslims are terrorists. We got to hate the Muslims.
And also...
They're criminals and rapists.
Oh, that was a little loud, Bernie. Of
course.
He's always yelling, so...
I've always said that.
Yes, those aren't Bernie Sanders.
You got that from me.
Those are just recordings of Danae standing out on a street corner. But mostly, instead of
once again asking for your support.
instead of standing
That's
on
my
a street
impression.
corner yelling at people about women and Muslims and asking for support, or just sitting in a chair in the cold looking like a grumpy old man.
That's also my MO.
Usually we're blathering yet evangelizing to our flock. We're
Amen.
preaching to the choir, that choir of
Headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
Yeah, I'm trying to dial in my stuff correctly here too, because I just got a new preamp on the microphone, and it was delivered
Whatever that means.
like 2 hours
I really-
before the show started. So
I need a like a Duolingo lesson just for that specific soundbite so that I can actually memorize it.
I don't have it memorized.
Headstrong. Jerk.
Unless it's
Stubborn.
playing, yeah. Then I can kind of go along
that's what
with
I'm
it.
saying. I just need it on my Duolingo once a day. Just run through it real quick.
Turn it into a song. That's how humans learn very effectively. That's why,
It's a
the
good
alphabet
heuristic.
and all that kind of stuff. That's how you can remember a song for like 30 fucking years. You can't forget the lyrics to it, but you can't remember what you went into the grocery store for, You turn it into a song. There you go. Set it to the lyrics.
You got yourself a stew going. You got yourself a song going.
Yeah.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas.
Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut.
You
Connecticut,
poop in the bed?
Oh.
Delaware.
And I see that's the thing. I feel like I was going to say the entire idea of like, well, I can only like remember it while it's going.
Headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
Thieving, cross-dressing
But I
jerks.
can't do it on its own. I was like, that feels like Duolingo, where it's like, yeah, I'm doing it while the app
does,
is
yeah.
going, and then as soon as I start getting in a conversation, I'm like, I can't remember anything. It's like, does Duolingo even work for me? I don't know.
Quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, real funny. I'm like, see, I knew you could speak English. No.
Buenas noches.
They're like, yeah, I was using Duolingo. I just know how to say, yeah, real funny, and this sentence leading up to right now. I'm like, well, what else do you know?
See.
And they say, okay. No.
That's a Family
No
Guy joke.
say.
Yeah.
Or an American Dad or something. I remember
I
seeing
think it
that.
was
I
Family
just
Guy.
told that to Humberto.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Now that's the first goddamn thing you've ever said that made one piece of fucking sense.
so I hope you guys are doing well.
Let's wrap.
Yeah. I'm also doing good because I work nonprofit, motherfuckers. So
Yeah, so do
There we
I,
go.
but my nonprofit doesn't do a lot of good. What is your nonprofit up to, Natalie?
just passing bills.
See, I work
or trying
nonprofit
to.
for free, okay?
I work nonprofit as in I don't make a profit.
Actually,
for the
I
job that I do.
lose money. I have to pay to be a member of the association so I could be on the board. But anyway, no, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Our bill is in the House of Representatives. Ever heard of it?
Is
In the
that
state of Washington?
when it becomes a bill
yeah.
and it's no longer a William, right?
Yeah, exactly. We kind of get a little casual with it, a little loose.
Little
you know?
cash.
No, yeah. It's in the Appropriations Committee. It will be voted on or left to die by Friday. We'll know.
Oh,
So, yeah. So hopefully, it moves through. I think, that we just had a committee hearing on Saturday. The opposition, very weak, I think, but that doesn't necessarily mean shit. There's a lot of, Washington State has like a $13 billion budget shortfall for the biennium, these 2 years, partially because Jeff Bezos moved, and like things like that, which...
How much does that even really cut into it, though? Is it a lot?
I think that's like part of and that's like a talking point that people like to use too, to like try to make things friendlier for billionaires to stick around, and like for what taxes they pay. But he's not paying $13 billion in taxes. I'm not really sure where the shortfall came from, but anything that is costing money is, they're like, no, we don't want to do that. They just have a weak argument. This is for like setting standards for ranked choice voting. It's not to make anyone do anything. It's to literally set up a committee to say what are the standards going to be as people want to do it, because you can. Seattle is going to. And so their opposition, it's very, very weak, because part of it is like, it's going to be too complicated for these auditors. And they're like, yeah, what's a lot more complicated is if everywhere does it differently. That's way more complicated. That's why we're asking for statewide standards. But Secretary of State...
It gets you a good start so that you don't have to complicate things down the line.
Exactly. Secretary of State doesn't like ranked choice voting, so he pretty much just doesn't want anything to do with it. He sucks. He's a fail upwards kind of guy that was put in place... I think maybe we talked about this, but put in place by Jay Inslee, the former governor, like taken out of the Senate and moved to the Secretary of State's office because the Secretary of State like joined the Biden administration. Yeah. And so he got taken out as a legislator by the governor because he wouldn't let anything fucking get passed, like any of these transportation bills or anything like that. He's just a smug bitch is what he is, and we don't like him. I think his reasoning behind what he doesn't like about
don't quote me on that though.
Yeah, don't let that get out. But that he is kind of honestly kind of racist and ableist, saying that people can't figure out ranked choice voting if they speak English as a second language, and if you have a developmental or like an intellectual disability, that it would be too complicated, citing his mother, who's an immigrant from Japan, and his son, who has a developmental disability, as his sources. His son works for Boeing, so I think he can probably figure out ranked choice voting. Well, and his mother can have a ballot printed in fucking Japanese if she wants, which is a thing. That's actually a bill too.
Oh, we can't figure it out, but your son works as the head of quality control for Boeing. So
yeah. And for that, though, there is actually another bill that we support, my organization supports, is one to lower the threshold for ballots to be printed in different languages, because it has to be a certain amount of the population that needs it printed in that language before you can... That will just be the standard. And the threshold's too high, so there's some legislation.
Is it a percentage?
In the House right now. It's like 5% or something, and they want to lower it to 2%. So then
I would have just guessed it would have been 1%, just throwing it out just as a guess.
It's kind of dumb that you can't just like specify that when you're registering as a voter. Like, hey, I want it in this language.
Because it's...
Well, they can't understand you when you ask
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And they're like, well, you can just have someone translate it for you or whatever. And it's like, well, that's not great. But, it's
America.
I hope
so they just say,
shut the hell up, bitch.
Yeah, they move on from there.
That's my problem with the Secretary of State, where it's like, if you think that English as a second language is a problem, then why aren't you like really backing a bill like that, at least, that says, let's get it printed in more languages? So he's just kind of the worst kind of guy. Like, he just really thinks he knows it all, thinks he's super smart. He loves board games and Dungeons and Dragons in a bad way. He's like that kind of guy.
Oh, God.
Like, yeah.
Not like Elon Musk level, like poser, just like bad.
He's a smug nerd.
Oh.
I think, kind of. And, like, I think he is a lot smarter than Elon Musk. I mean, who isn't? But, truly. But yeah, so things are going good. This week is kind of a big week for us.
Steve
I think about
Hobbs. Okay.
When can we get rid of him?
He just won his reelection.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Like he just
2028.
Is it like 4 years?
4 years. And I know that there might be some, and he doesn't really have any challengers. He's a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
The Stranger, which is like a progressive, publication here in Seattle,
Stranger endorsed him?
He's like progressive in some ways. They're not the Democratic Party
because
is
there's
like
not
not really.
he's not like in a primary, like well, does the I don't even know. Do they do like the whole open primaries for those positions too? Right? It's gonna be just Democrat versus Democrat, right?
Totally. Yeah, that's what all the voting in Washington is like an open.
So I wonder, because it
primary.
used to be you'd have that the only other guy that you'd have as like a legit Republican challenger for Secretary of State. What was his name? Because he always had that $30 tabs thing that everyone loved, of course, for good reason, and it would get struck down by the judiciary, and like Washington Democrats were always against it and saying it's unconstitutional. And then even on a technicality, saying when he got it as a ballot initiative when he wasn't running for Secretary of State, and it passed, and then they said nope, it wasn't the ballot initiative was written incorrectly, and on a technicality they threw it out. And it's like, God, you guys are not making yourselves look good right now. And it's like, I can't remember what that guy's name was, but I feel like he was the only like kind of Republican that had any sort of sway in that area. And it was because it had one smidgen of populist support, where it's like, and you know what? And it should, because it's Washington. We have high taxes, but things like all of those fees, licensing fees, property taxes, all these things are all regressive taxes. Like, they're not progressive taxes. They harm.
Washington has a very regressive tax.
Yeah, they harm
code.
People of lower incomes way more. Especially like. Just because they're not called taxes, like renewing your license, renewing your tabs, it's insane.
So expensive.
Yeah, let alone if you live where Natalie lives, that's crazy. Like spending $500 to renew your tabs, like depending on what you drive over there in Seattle, mind blowing. And I understand it's like, well, they try to get less people to drive and blah blah blah, and it goes to like. The WSDOT like is one of the biggest, like Department of Transportation infrastructures in the United States because of the ferry system and all this. And it's like, but still, it's like, that doesn't matter. When someone is making minimum wage working at Krispy Kreme, they need to renew their tabs on their fucking 95 Camry, okay? And they can't afford that. Like, compared to, like,
someone with
Jeff
a Tesla
Bezos
that's sitting in their
spends the same amount of money
office
renewing the tabs on his fucking Mercedes Benz. It's like, come on. It drives me crazy. But and it's like the only way you could get around those sort of things is either with weirdly even more bureaucratic, like graduated marginal things, or like where it's like, well, you get a tax credit back if you make under a certain amount of money. You get you get credit back for renewing your tabs, because you make less than $100,000 a year, or blah 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 blah. It's like, no, what you should do, you should make it cheap for everyone, even if it's cheap for rich people, and get the money somewhere else. Like, it can't be
from
that difficult.
The rich people.
Exactly. It's like, what
from
you
all these
do
fucking rich people.
is you make car tabs cheap. You make helicopter tabs that have to be renewed every 6 months, and they're $10,000 because fuck them, because the guy working Krispy Kreme doesn't have to worry about that. And someone that's taking their helicopter to Krispy Kreme can afford it, or they can't, and fuck them. So whatever. But it seems so straightforward to me. I've been thinking about it, and I've said it since like episode 1 of this fucking show, where it's like targeted taxes on things like that. We do it as sin taxes already. Why can't we do luxury tax? I mean, it's right there it's in Monopoly, right? It's a luxury tax. It's like you don't pay a bunch of money to renew your tabs. You pay a shitload of money if you're buying a yacht.
If you own a yacht.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you own a yacht, if you buy a helicopter, mansion taxes, they do that in New York City. Of course, they need to improve the way that they do that because it was kind of short-sighted. Now, every single piece of real estate in New York City proper is subject to a mansion tax, as far as I know. But but it's like stuff like that. And you know what? They try doing that with these real estate excise taxes, and they get shut down by big business, and they more easily propagandize to these people saying, can you believe they're going to raise your taxes? Cost of living is already high enough. I can't believe they're going to raise taxes on real estate. And people don't look into it. The feckless morons, like, anyone that isn't who you're working with, Natalie, these Democrats, no, but these people that are behind a good initiative, like raising excise taxes on these property sales of over $10 million and stuff like that. Like, they don't get the word out properly that it's like, hey, this is a rich person tax. This is the Bill Gates tax. Don't even say Jeff Bezos. This is the Bill Gates tax. Man, it would drive those Republicans wild. They'd all vote for this stuff. And it's like, it just seems so simple to me. And meanwhile, you go to a trade show or a business conference. No, not thumbs up, thumbs down. No, that like the ones that I go to, and they talk about anything that raises those taxes, that are taxes on these rich fucking people. They have some solidarity. They all get together. They talk to their fucking representatives.
They got class solidarity.
They all
right there.
make sure to vote on it.
Oh, 100%.
They all spread the word. There are email chains blasting out to all these poor people that are having trouble renewing the tabs on their 95 Camry, are getting the emails saying, hey, make sure you vote no to raising taxes on real estate, because that would be bad. Make sure you vote no to this gas tax. Oh, you can't get them to stop natural gas and in new developments. You got to be able to have gas. They're going to take your gas stove. That happened here too. It's like it's
That's
just
why that
brutal.
ballot initiative
Drives
passed.
me crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it reminds me of like the whole like the third spaces disappearing. Like when I'm like, where are these rich people talking? Oh yeah, the golf club. Every fucking golf course in Washington State. And then it's like, okay, so where is everyone else meeting up?
Yeah.
Nowhere really.
And hey, and you know what? And where they're meeting up is being corralled and controlled by those people with all the money. And it gets back to the techno-feudalism that we talked about with R.M. Brown on that episode that I have yet to upload, because it's more fun as a lost episode. It'll be up though. It'll be up
soon.
So I still have to work on it a little bit. But yeah, I just remember kind of bringing that up and then trailing off in my head thinking like, oh, I don't really know what I'm talking about though. So, I just remember this being very interesting. I watched 35-minute video essay about it. Then I was like, oh God, I hope R.M. Brown could take the reins on this. But hey, our third space is online, is the online space. That's all we got. And we don't own that space. It's not a great one. It's not a good space. It's not our space.
And not a good one for having, like, you know, real community.
Oh,
no
no.
offense to
By
online
any
friends or
means.
anything like that. But
No.
it's like, you know, it's like different than like hanging out with someone. But yeah,
no,
there's
it's
definitely,
not. No, just ask the
like-
Secretary of State.
Yeah, when he plays D&D with his dork friends. But no
Yeah.
offense, a lot of my friends play D&D. You know, I'm joking around. But
Yeah.
that's
It's
like
very
Prop
cringe
1A.
when you do that.
That Proposition 1A that just passed here in Seattle, we talked about it a few weeks ago. The mayor of Seattle was really against it, Bruce Harrell. Everybody hates him. I feel like that's a big city thing. It's like everybody
I was
hates,
gonna
no
say,
matter
it's
who
just
you
like-
are, you pretty much hate the
Kind of like New York
mayor.
City, yeah.
But he's like, you know, he's not a leftist at all. So what funds that social housing partially is a tax on people who make more than $1 million a year in income. And I think that seems completely reasonable to raise taxes on someone who makes in income more than $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of fucking money. Even
You
for a place
don't
like
need
Seattle.
it.
Yeah.
You
You
don't
really could pay a
need
little
it.
bit more in taxes.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to have like a mansion on Lake Washington unless you want to live on a tight budget. That's your own prerogative. But $1 million a
Well,
year
and you
is
still
like
can.
You still can, indeed.
some of those are, you know, I mean, Bill Gates like lives in some of the like, you know, like really, really, really rich people there. But still, making $1 million in income means you probably have millions in actual wealth
Yeah.
too. And if you
Yeah.
make that much
Assets.
in income, you just pay more taxes. You pay more taxes, and that's how it goes. You pay more fucking taxes because actually, relatively, you don't pay as much as we do, because exactly what you're saying. Because tabs, if I have to spend $75 renewing my tabs, and Jeff Bezos has to spend $75 renewing
Yeah.
his tabs, I have effectively gone bankrupt. You know, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wouldn't even. That's not even close.
And
that's
a
not even, like,
penny went
penny
through
to
a
him.
hole, in his pocket. You know?
It's his couch cushion or something. You
Yeah.
know, that he's lost. So
No, a
that's
nickel
what-
went through, and then 4 pennies, he found or something. It's like, it's less
Yeah.
than a penny either way. Well, however you would do it.
That's what I always know, that it's like, you know what? The answer to who's going to pay for this? The people with the money. That's what I'm going to say. That's another
Who's
song
gonna
idea I
pay
wrote
for
down.
this?
Yeah. It's like a satire is dead and there's enough to go around. Those are my
There's
2 song
enough to
ideas
go
right now. Don't
around.
steal them. Yeah. There's more than enough to go around and around and around and around.
Okay, Natalie.
We have actually some big news, guys. Hey,
Hey.
got some big news right now because we got
That's
a
the new-
New York Post,
New York Post.
login.
New York
we can leave
Post.
comments. We can leave comments.
Everyone is stupid except me.
I'm just trying to find what'll be what'll be the New York Post.
Hey.
Nothing like a New York slide.
Yeah, of
Nothing like the New York
course.
Post.
That's what it would be. Yeah.
Nothing like a good New York slide.
Hey. All right.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask on behalf of the audience. Why haven't you gotten one before?
Nothing like
I've
a good
been
New York
afraid.
slide.
Oh,
I've been afraid of what will happen to me as a person who already, gets on Instagram and intentionally
flame
goes
wars.
to argue with people. Yeah, I'm like rage bait. Like I'm like a bitch, I would say. Like
I'm a
that it's
bitch.
easy for
I'm
me. I
a
can really just
lover.
like clap back and just be like super fucking rude.
Yeah.
And
you know what would
you
be
are?
easier?
Poopy bitch.
You would probably spend your time better just training an AI chatbot to do that for you. Since
yeah.
those are probably just AI chatbots that you're fighting with.
But it's
so.
some of it. It's like a little bit for I want to keep my insults
Mm-hmm.
sharp.
Keep
you know,
it-
I want to keep
yeah, okay,
those
I like-
pathways
I like
in my
that.
brain.
It's the equivalent of
ready.
it's like
Get that
how when
type 5.
when I
Yeah.
go
Type
and I
5,
get
yeah.
gas, and I make sure to do the mental math and I round it off. I'd be like, well, I'll get $28.16 in gas, and then it rounds up to $40 or whatever. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I gotta keep
That's-
that sharp.
Keep it sharp, yeah, because this is not about convincing people. People that I'm arguing with, they're not in these comment
about
sections
convincing
for a
yourself.
good faith conversation. It's about, just like doing this, shouting into the void a little bit and yelling at Nazis often.
We do what we need to survive.
Head to individuals.
Before we get into this New York Post article, we watched the R.M. Brown program today had a great example of like why you can't talk to people like this, like on the Patty Bet Davis, whatever.
Patrick
PBD
Bet
show?
David.
Yeah, Patrick
Peanut
Bet
butter
David.
and deli.
He had someone on his show. They're talking about people that are 350 years old claiming Social Security. And his guest on the show was like, that's pretty much been debunked. Like his guest was like, there's a lot of fraud in the government, certainly, but this is like even conservatives have said that that's not what's happening. There's just been like a misunderstanding of, this reporting that they've been doing and stuff. That's just not what's happening. And pretty much PBD just moves on to the next segment.
Yeah.
So it's like, this guy literally
He
said
just doesn't address
exactly
it.
what you'd need to hear by the person you'd need to hear it from. It's not me going on the show calling him an idiot and a racist and a transphobe and a fascist and,
Getting
stupid
triggered.
bitch. It's someone, it's like someone super calm saying, you're right, there's so much government waste. I can't wait till they get into Medicare. I can't wait till they get into the Pentagon. I'm so glad they're doing
I love
this.
Doge.
But this has been debunked. I love Doge, but this in particular, it's just not true. So we shouldn't hyper-focus on it because this is not where our focus should be. And he just ignores it, doesn't change his mind. It doesn't matter what you say to these people. They will hold their line regardless of the facts from their own side. So I'm definitely not about to change any minds. I'm about to hurt some feelings, I hope. So that's what I'm here for.
There's nothing
I'm here to hurt, not
better
help.
than finishing an argument on the internet, even if it's like, it's like, well, I mean, there's no way that you won. You're the one, you got ratioed into oblivion.
Sometimes I
You're
make
in the
myself
belly of the
laugh.
beast.
Yeah.
You're just laughing. You muted and blocked the person and walked away. But for a fact that by what that stupid right-wing nut job was saying, that they went to bed thinking about this conversation about how this leftist just got to them, and they just have been thinking about it. The other things that they wanted to say, it's like, sorry, I've muted you. I haven't been listening for a while. I love it.
I like laughing at my own jokes because I'm a loser like that. I just think sometimes it just like cracks me up. Like,
because you're funny.
I can't think of one right now, but often it is
You know why,
just
though?
like your mom situation. So that's
It's
or like
because-
the doctor.
That's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
That's why.
Yeah. Or just like the Dr. Phil. Where's the Dr. Phil one? Go kill yourself.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, that's way up on the top
That's
of
Natalie.
it. Oh, jeez.
Shut the hell up, bitch. Go kill
Yeah,
yourself.
close.
Go sit in the middle
There
of
it
the
is.
road and let a car run over you.
That's
I
what
actually
you tell
don't
people.
say things like that.
You're
but,
ugly,
I
you're
do
disgusting,
say
I'm
you're a
gonna kill
bitch
you.
and you're stupid and your mom is fat. I say that often, and that your mom's a slut and stuff. Like when people are like talking about OnlyFans and hating on it and stuff, I'm like, yeah, you must hate your mom. I heard she's one of the most popular creators on there. Stupid,
you're a woman on the
immature
internet.
bullshit like
You
that.
have to go at saying that you
Nobody
fuck
thinks
their
I'm a woman.
dads.
Nobody thinks I'm a
Oh,
woman.
even better
People-
than you say you fuck their
People
dads.
always think I'm a
Assume
guy.
that you're a dude,
Always.
yeah.
That happened on Reddit all the time too. When I used to go and sort by most controversial
Oh, yeah,
and
and
go
start
fight
fighting with
with people, too.
Classic.
Oh
So-
my
That's the only way to
gosh.
use Reddit.
Classic. But yeah, I do it in real life too. Someone wants to. I'm never gonna back down from an argument. That's for sure. At work,
Yeah,
on
at
the
work
street,
every day.
I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
Man,
I'm
I got
gonna
into
once
a yelling
again-
fight at work one time at the nuclear plant about this guy saying black people commit more crime, so I got
God.
obviously. And then he's a white guy and he was like, I can see you're really offended. I was like, I'm not offended. You're just wrong. You're wrong. I'm just trying to tell you how wrong you are. I'm not offended. I just think you're stupid.
I'm gonna be offended by you not
I just
learning.
need you to know that you're an idiot. That's the real thing
Get it
here.
through your fucking head. But
You
so
have
anyways,
dog shit where
nothing
your
like a-
brain case should be.
Looking like a
Exactly.
New York
Nothing like a New York
slice.
Post slice. So, the article I have chosen we're going to read this together, and we're going to find... I was hoping we'd be the first comment, but we sat around and jacked off for too long and talked.
Can I read it? Can I read it? I want to read out loud.
Yeah, of course. Do you want me to... I'll put the link
send
right
it to
here
me or
in
share
the
it.
chat.
Or you share your screen.
I could do that, actually.
I can put it in the video right now.
Okay, share my screen. Is that how we want this to do? Or no?
Yeah. And then, so I'll read one sentence and then Doug reads the next.
And we'll go one word at a time, if we could do that. Okay. So can you see this?
Yeah.
I cannot.
I mean, I
have to watch the stream, don't I?
Okay. Well, I'll read the title, and then Danae can jump in. And the great thing about the New York Post is actually every single sentence is its own paragraph. So,
oh my God. Everyone writes like that. I don't get it.
Beautiful.
I don't really get it either. Okay, so name. Okay, this is by Victor Nava. He is a journalist.
He published
for the New
it
York Post.
real late at night too.
So yeah, he had to get this one out.
Midnight Eastern.
Tech guru admired by Elon Musk estimates over $100 billion in taxpayer money is being wasted or stolen.
Okay.
Take it away, Danae.
Wow.
How is this an article?
I know. just wait to see what kind of insight this motherfucker has.
So excited. A data scientist with ties to Doge chief Elon Musk declared Monday that she believes over $100 billion in taxpayer dollars are being wasted or stolen by federal employees at government agencies.
Oh, God.
Shall I continue? Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah. The tech expert is using artificial intelligence to expose cases of government waste, fraud, and abuse, and goes by Data Republican on X, where her posts are regularly shared by billionaire Tesla and SpaceX founder. Whew, the woman who is deaf said through an interpreter when asked by News Nation.
Whew, she said through an interpreter. LOL, she said.
Woo. Okay, woo, the woman who is deaf said through an interpreter when asked by News Nation's Brian Enton about how much federal cash she believes is being wasted or stolen based on her efforts poring over public databases. If I had to guess, I would say it's over $100 billion,
what the fuck?
She said. But what is more important is what they are doing with that money.
Okay. If I had to guess, so this is some hard-hitting journalism.
This sounds
here.
like
if I had to guess.
This immediately, I think of Matt Walsh on Joe Rogan, where he just asked him, "Oh, how many of these kids? How many of these kids have gone on puberty blockers and stuff?" He's like, "Oh, it's probably in the low millions at this point. It's at least hundreds of thousands." And then they just look it up, and they're like, "Well, over the past 4 years, it's just over 4,000."
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a conservative. It's got to be more than that. It's like, you just fucking made it up. Like, you just won't say different.
Yeah. Yet another case where they just don't even fucking care. It's like, Joe Rogan doesn't care that you were wrong. If you said, well, 4,000 is way too many, he would go along with that too.
Yeah. But, oh my God, Danae, keep going.
Right, yeah. Okay. I highlighted it because it's like broken up kind of weird.
I didn't even see that one. Oh, yeah.
I missed that. Actually, I thought it was a caption to the video. The numbers don't lie. Okay, Doug, stop interrupting me.
Sorry, I would say it off mic.
The numbers don't lie. The data expert. I love that they keep referring to her as the data expert. Added, and look, they don't always say what I want to hear, but they do tell me the truth. The numbers do not lie to me. Data Republican did not disclose her true identity during the interview because of threats she has received over her closeness with Musk. She described her relationship with the head of President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency as a working one, but noted that she has never communicated directly with Musk. I want to be clear, I don't communicate directly with Elon. He found me and he supports my work, she said. But I have communicated with some people who are involved with Doge, and I don't want to say much more than that, but I have a working relationship. She said she's not even sure how the billionaire found her online. Come on. He just trolls the hashtag. He's always looking for his name.
Searches. He's on Twitter 16 hours a day.
He's got Google alerts set up.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, I don't know. You'd have to ask him, she said, of how Musk stumbled upon her X account, which he has encouraged his more than 218 million followers to follow. But I'm grateful, she added, noting that it's been a whirlwind since she started engaging online with Musk. The tech genius explained that her current work involves analyzing connections and relationships between people and the government. If you research people long enough, you start to notice that they're all working together. They're all married. They're all in-laws, she said of the latest findings.
Sounds like Trump.
Data Republican insisted that the evidence of corruption she has uncovered isn't limited to members of just one political party. I cannot tell you enough how much both Republicans and Democrats are involved, she said. It is everywhere. Musk's Doge initiative, which aims to cut at least a trillion in federal spending, claims it's already saved taxpayers about $55 billion by slashing government grants, fighting lost money, downsizing federal agencies, and laying off thousands of government workers.
So by doing a bunch of reckless harm, we saved us nothing. $55 billion? That's nothing.
I personally really like all of the facts that she gave, saying like everybody's like involved. That's what I'm just joking. Like about that this data genius. They just go from calling her a
Twitter profile,
data analyst, tech exactly,
guru, data
amazing.
Genius.
This is an article in a Alexander Hamilton started this publication. So,
oh my gosh. What I really loved about it too was the part where she was talking about how they all know each other. I'm like, I also can do LinkedIn research, honey.
Yeah.
I do that for a job. That's my job.
Yeah. These comments are pretty. Okay. APIC orders Congress to send Israel about the same amount of money every year. Where's the outrage? About that. Nice.
About that.
Mm-hmm. Data expert. The government says this. We all know the number is 10 times larger than that.
See. Sure. You just know in your gut.
This was the very first comment. I love her. That's what I wanted to.
You just really get him. It's like, well, she's a guy, so.
Yeah.
I really like the photo of her,
faceless.
though. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a translator that's doing it, right? That's not even her.
Yeah, because
is it her?
She refuses to be named. It's just
deaf,
this
not
Twitter handle.
Yeah. Okay, so that's probably the translator, the photo.
And the thing is, the biggest, I don't know about this data Republican or whatever, but what has been very commonplace over the last year or so is all of the big, faceless Twitter accounts, when they become unmasked, they're fucking Nazis every time.
Oh, yeah.
It's always or at the very least, Jack Posobiec or whatever his name is, who is a Nazi, but it's he runs the End Wokeness account, and it's huge. It's huge. All of these guys, Stone Toss got unmasked. All these people, they get complain about doxing or whatever, and that's what this person would be like. Oh, I want to remain anonymous and stuff. It's yeah, you're probably just some fucking basement dwelling Nazi piece of shit. That's exactly what it is. You're just hiding behind this I'm just about the data. No, you're not. You're an Elon Musk lover who's getting articles in the New York Post, meaningless articles in the New York Post, you're probably as close to a Nazi as you can get. I would put money on it.
You know?
Like, that's just the way that it goes nowadays.
Well, also, like, the part where it's like, oh, she's been, like, receiving death threats because of her close relationship with Elon. And then she immediately is like, I haven't ever spoken with him directly.
I don't know how he found me. I didn't tweet these things directly at him.
Well, and then she has a giant account. That's
but also, like, the photo on the article, again, like, death threats. So is it her or is it someone else? And why isn't it specified? Are we trying to get this woman killed, whoever that is, with the sunglasses? Like,
who cares? There are no specifics in this article. No specifics about the person. No specifics about the numbers. No specifics
what a
about
useless fucking article.
Like,
what Doge is
love
doing.
Public databases.
If I had to guess, I would say it's over 100 billion.
Well, if I
Why
had
would
to
you
guess,
be guessing if you're some fucking
I'd say
genius?
it's 15 trillion.
Yeah. So, what do you think about that?
I've got you beat. When is Elon Musk going to call me?
But also, once again, like, 100 billion is not a lot.
It's not shit. Like, and even cutting $1 trillion in government spending, it's like you can only cut the fat so far. If, quote unquote, you know, with using their whole reasoning and stuff, it's like you still have to have some money to, you know, like, fund, like, basic federal functions, things like that. You know, like,
also,
there's, like, a lot of things that the federal
traffic
government
lights
passed by Congress.
Like, so it's like you can cut these things back or whatever, but it's like, so what does it mean? Are we still going to pay the same amount of taxes, and then you're going to do this stupid fucking New York Post article idea or New York Post comment article idea of using our taxes to pay down the trillions of dollars in debt we owe or something? Like,
oh yeah,
what do you even mean?
Like we talked about last week.
Like, what does that mean with, like, cutting this wasteful spending or whatever? Also, you didn't cut, like, it. We already paid for those. Our money's already gone. It's already been paid. It's already there.
You just
and everything.
You just took people's jobs. That's all. You just cut people's
literally,
jobs.
Job creating guys, you know, like, we should be grateful and sucking the dicks of all these billionaires because we should be so grateful for the jobs they give us, as he goes in and cuts tens of thousands.
Instead, we have
jobs.
a billionaire come in and, like, literally strand a family in Senegal because he demolished USAID. And they're like, well, I guess I don't know what we're doing now. We have 2 kids. They're 12 and 14. And now I have no job. Cool. Thanks a lot. We're in Africa. Like, the fuck? Okay, so
I'm going to leave our first...
we all know the number is 10 times larger than that. We all know your mom is 10 times larger than that.
That's my classic go-to. So I'm going to go ahead and make our mark today on the New York Post.
Okay.
And,
inaugural comment.
So
don't quote me on that, though.
Oh, man. It's exactly how mature I try to be online all the time. And that's not at all. But I also just want to say this other article written by Victor Nava, how Elon Musk is saying that, no, actually, well, you have, okay, here's the second email, otherwise you're going to get fired. How, like, federal workers just didn't comply with, like, the bullet point list of things that they've done. And so he's like, well, okay, well, you'll get a second chance. And then
so
you're
what
really...
bullet point list? What are you talking about?
Oh, that email that federal workers had
to
say 5 things that they've done in the last
week
to keep their job. Otherwise, they'd be fired. And so the heads of these departments were like, don't. You don't have to do that. He's not your boss.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have, like, the FBI is saying no. And, like,
he doesn't have the authority.
It's like, I don't work for Doge. Who the fuck are you?
And
also, so I actually know a little bit about this because I have a friend that works at Hanford, and he was telling me about, like, some of the responses.
Department of Energy.
So one of the emails, I think, was basically never going to give you up, never going to let you down. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
And then the other thing was that everyone was just saying like, hey, like let's just sign this email address up for as many newsletters as possible.
Yes.
So
exactly.
I was like,
we were talking about that this morning.
I love
that. PSA for anyone that doesn't know, that email address is totally publicly available. Anyone can send emails to it. You can tell Elon Musk, what is it? The PMO? What it's
OPM, the Office of Personnel Management. But it's
the OPM.
It's like HR at opm.gov, I think.
Yes.
And
you can let him know what you accomplished over the last week. You can flood that inbox as much as you can, as much as you want. It's a free country.
Totally, and it's an email address that works, so I could do whatever I want. But I do want to read. I sent this to
because you know what?
Group,
this is politics.
Our family group chat. Exactly. The largest federal employee union, the president, issued a statement on this. Elon Musk saying, "You guys have to send this email." So the president of this union that oversees, it's like 800,000 workers that are a part of this union. It's gigantic.
A federal workers union?
Yeah. He's like, once again, Elon Musk and the Trump administration have shown their utter disdain for federal employees and the critical services they provide to the American people. It is cruel and disrespectful to hundreds of thousands of veterans who are wearing their second uniform in the civil service to be forced to justify their job duties to this out-of-touch, privileged, unelected billionaire who has never performed one single hour of honest public service in his life.
Woo!
So I like that. I was like, what?
Yeah,
hell
exactly.
Yeah. And,
I'm just an ordinary blue-collar slob, but I know what I likes on TV.
The American government is about to get sued to fucking oblivion by, they're saying that any wrongful terminations and these kinds of things, whatever this is, the American Federation of Government Employees will challenge any unlawful terminations of our members and federal employees across the country.
Yeah.
So any of these things where people actually get fired, it's like, you want to save us spending and make us more efficient? How about you don't tie up the government in all these fucking lawsuits because you did something illegal?
The NLRB is not on Elon Musk's side and has not been ever. And it's like, I mean, that's, a whole Project 2025, workaround thing that they probably have been doing or should be doing if they want to get away with all this shit is even more cuts to the NLRB like they've been doing, and more, what would you call it? Just weakening of it. But because it's like, because all this stuff, I mean, it was already pretty weak to begin with. Labor doesn't get a fair shake in this country at all. But it's like, yeah, you're breaking so many just written rules, like regulations set in stone.
You're not a fucking CEO.
I think they sometimes forget that there's like a separation of the executive and the judicial branches or something.
And
they're trying to make that not so.
And the congressional. It's like, you guys are not above those.
And this isn't a business, and you're not the CEO. You can't just do whatever you want. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
You can't just require this.
And
you can't just suddenly say this is the policy.
And even if you could, you're a crappy CEO. You'd run this country into the fucking ground.
Which he does with his businesses. But I would like to say, so he was saying, if you don't respond, so this was sent out Saturday for one thing, which it's like, fuck you, I'm not working. But you had until Monday at 11:59 p.m. to say it. Or if you didn't respond, that was going to be treated as a resignation, which is pretty sure that's not how that works. But now he's saying, he's like, oh, actually, that was voluntary. And, that's not going to be taken as a resignation if you didn't respond. He said, the email request was utterly trivial, as the standard for passing the test was to type some words and press send, Musk wrote on X. Yet so many failed even that inane test, urged on in some cases by their managers. The inane test. Oh my god.
He
mentioned this by you by Inane.
Oh my
gosh, I can't believe you name dropped us.
Owned.
That's crazy.
Consider yourself
He
owned
named
because you
dropped
are.
He
That was a
said
really nice one. Thanks, Inane Blather.
they will be given a second chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. And this is what it's been interesting how quiet Donald Trump has been, honestly. I feel like he's really like kind of been, I don't know if he's just like watching TV or whatever. I just don't, Elon is just like really taking the limelight, but
he's golfing.
Trump,
he's golfing
Trump
every
said,
weekend.
I thought it was great because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. The president told reporters at the Oval Office. What he's doing is saying, are you actually working? It's like what I'm saying is like, people don't even know. It's like, no, they do. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what people do because you don't know shit about the government.
And also, once again, we don't have to tell you, Elon Musk. We don't work
You're
for
not my
you.
boss.
And it's like, and even if you want to go with this whole amorphous, oh, you're a public servant, you work for the federal government, you work for the American people, the taxpayers pay your salary, we still don't work for you, Elon Musk. Like, and in that case, hey, if you want to make everything transparent, then you can see if these people are working. Just look, their contracts are easily available. If they're contracted to work, that's that. Call it a day. Go home. Fuck off. Go pretend to play Diablo. Go hire someone to play Diablo for you, as you are wont to do.
Which you can because you're a billionaire and you're a fucking loser. But,
yeah. Go have your 13th fucking child now, if you've heard of that.
Yeah. I think this is an interesting comment to me because it's like, damn, this guy was a teacher and he's like just saying how, this comment says, I find it frustrating that they struggle to understand or accomplish this task. And it's like, whatever, you're obviously missing the fucking point here. And then some of them, I regrettably admit, may be former students of mine. Do I have to read all that? A short paragraph of instruction. I don't get it. Or anything. My mom's texting me. It's like, you're talking about your students, like not understanding thing. You're calling your students stupid, and you were a teacher.
On you,
cool, bro. Yeah, that's cool. What you were called to this? I can see why you wanted to be a teacher because you really wanted to teach people things, not just make fun of kids who didn't understand what you're trying to teach them. Fucking loser. See, this is why it's gonna be dangerous for me because I'm just gonna be like popping off in these comments, be like, "You're a fucking asshole." I hope. If my kid was one of your students, I'd kill them so they wouldn't have to take your class. That's something I would say.
I would drown them in a fucking bathtub.
Yeah.
And say it was your fault. Oh, man.
All right. Did you guys see
I
this?
saw that AI video.
They literally just shared it in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's what I clicked on. That's what
Disgusting.
I saw that. Umberto showed that to me today, and I was like, so these tech nerd geniuses couldn't figure out how to get that off. They just had to unplug the TVs.
Oh, I didn't hear that. No, I just saw the AI video. What happened? So for people that don't watch for people that don't watch the YouTube video, what are we looking at here?
This is amazing. So, the title of this, hackers play AI video of Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet on cafeteria screens at HUD. Housing and Urban Development Headquarters. Long live the real king. It's a disgusting AI video of Donald Trump kissing two left feet of Elon Musk. And it says, long live the real king. And it was all over all of the screens in the Housing and Urban Development office. And they couldn't figure it out. They just had to unplug the TVs.
Yeah.
They couldn't get in and undo it. And which is so funny because it's like, how is this guy a genius again? This tech genius hacker, cool coding, blah, 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 blah. And he couldn't figure out. And how did this happen? It came from within your own system and you guys couldn't figure that out, you geniuses? Yeah, right.
I don't think Elon really cared. I don't think Elon would have cared at all. He probably would have been like,
Elon's like, gosh, geez, I can't get it turned off. It's all turned on.
Funny. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Did you know that also Elon Musk said that the American
don't
people
show it. It's
believe.
so gross. I saw it.
Here we go.
I saw it over and over again on Twitter.
That the American people really believe in what he's doing and Doge is doing, and he knows that he has majority support because he put out a poll on Twitter.
Oh
and
my
Twitter
God.
said it. So,
Yeah,
and people
my
are
mom. My mom said something similar to that about CNN. Like what Elon and Trump are doing is supported by the poll that was done by CNN. So I was like, oh,
well,
I wonder who's actually filling that poll out on watching CNN. Interesting.
Trump's favorability is higher than it's ever been. I mean,
Yeah,
it is
for sure.
quite sickening how many people are behind it, but it's nothing like what happens on Twitter. Like, it is insane. Like, we talk about getting in flame wars. Remember you're still streaming, Natalie, and you're on video. Okay,
I don't have anything to worry about.
No, but anytime I go in and I wade into the waters of Elon Musk's replies and stuff like that, anything Elon Musk related, it is wild. It's just pure delusion. I mean, it's come a long way. He has really curated the site. Oh God, he looks like such a fucking dork. He's really curated the site since that initial Twitter poll a couple years ago, where he asked if he should step down as the leader of Twitter, and with like however many hundreds of thousands of votes, people said yes, step down. And who knows what happened with that? He appointed some fucking no-name CEO and continued running Twitter, of course, because he will not. He says, I will abide by the results of this poll. No, he didn't. Who fucking cares? He just went with a technicality.
I mean, does he actually do anything other than like maybe telling the developers to make his tweets?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
I don't know.
He does, and you can tell. It's like, because Twitter is horrible. Every new thing is a bad idea, and they're all Elon Musk's ideas, including, for one thing, making sure that all of his stuff is artificially inflated in the algorithm. He got so upset when like Joe Biden had more exposure than he did, that then they changed it so that he would always be the top guy in the algorithm. And then, getting rid of viewable likes. That's been gone for a long time. He completely destroyed the entire idea of communities on Twitter. That was just like a month ago. Every single change has been for the worse. It's like he's trying to ruin this fucking app. And no matter what, there will be thousands of soy boy cuck losers saying, Elon is just so smart. He is making the best decisions ever. I just can't. Another slam dunk. It's like just these guys that need to be permanently shoved into a locker in Silicon Valley and then just skated down the whatever those hills are in San Francisco that just like go in like the movie Bullet with Steve McQueen. All of these guys, they're just all over the website now. And not only that, he makes all these changes, and the bots just get worse and worse and worse. Every single tweet that I make, I immediately get at least 1 or 2 likes from a sex bot. Every time.
Slovenian sex bot. Yeah.
I did, complete tangent. I wanted to get your opinion. I thought it was kind of funny. Silver linings. Okay. I was like, it's kind of funny. Now with the advent, I'm always against like AI image generation and stuff like that. Whatever. With the advent of this, it is kind of funny that now, since, these phishing accounts, click here for hot photos, virus.ru, whatever it's going to be, and there's a picture of a hot woman in a bikini or whatever. Now they're all AI women. It's obvious, it's instant, and there's millions of them across the internet. But now it means that they're no longer just taking women's photos off the internet and using them for their own. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, they're just using
They're just-
women's photos that are already out
Right.
there.
They're
and
just using
compiling
millions
them,
of women's photos, but still.
Yeah,
They're not
but
just
not
directly
new-
taking
yeah,
them
exactly.
from someone else's
That is
Twitter
nice.
or from someone else's OnlyFans profile picture.
Revenge porn.
Yeah, like
Or
not
from
like-
revenge porn, yeah.
Not
And
like
saying,
impersonating.
click here. I was like, well, that's
Although
that's nice.
I have seen some like headlines that have recently. I saw like a headline that had to do with like there's been a pretty big rise in like making AI porn with like people's faces.
Deep
That's, like,
fakes.
specific.
Oh, yeah.
Well, deep fakes, but like it was like I don't know. It was just more recent, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Well, I wonder.
But-
Well, I mean, yeah, just the technology is getting better.
Give me
And
some royalties.
Deep fakes
son.
were already pretty bad even just a couple years ago, and it's disgusting what people do. They just take people, non-consenting people, and make pornography out of them. It's horrific.
Like, why can't we go back to the good old days when people just like drew shitty anime or something?
Yeah.
And there's like
You know?
plenty of
Yeah.
porn out
Don't
there,
just
guys.
go to
There's like so
DeviantArt.
much fucking consensual porn.
Yes.
There's like so much consensual porn
People
out there.
make
There's
porn and put it
so
out there for free.
much Porn. Yeah.
Exactly.
People post shit. I mean, it's like, so just credit them. Be like, I found this on Reddit
Yeah,
or
check
whatever.
this shit
That's
out.
hot, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I will just to
this on
circle
Reddit.
back really quick, Danae. Tell your mom she's fucking wrong.
I
because
can't.
This, no, obviously, but this
we
says
have a truce.
only
Unfortunately.
28% of people believe Musk's role in the government is a good thing, and that's according to a poll from CNN.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
less than
so
30%
she said-
of people.
She said 70%, so she got
Literally the opposite.
kind of
Got
right. I
exactly
think
wrong.
she just like
Yeah.
switched up the numbers
To
on
fit
accident,
her
I'm sure.
narrative. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
Oh, and
so, it's an
apparently-
honest mistake. So
She educated me on the fact that the Nazi salute, the Hitler salute that Elon did on the inauguration stage was actually, it used to be an American salute. So
that is true.
Back when we liked the
that's really what it
Nazis.
was.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's how people used to do the Pledge
Well,
of Allegiance. It used
I
to be a
didn't know
salute
that.
for a lot of places, and you'll still see it as a salute in other places that aren't as Eurocentric and stuff.
Right.
Because it's.
But we are
a Roman-
Eurocentric, and
Yeah.
the Nazis used it.
Yeah.
And that's what people are like, okay, so go do it at your job.
Yeah.
Go be like,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
guys.
like-
Look,
Hi,
look
guys.
that.
How the hell
Yeah, it's
are
like
ya?
cool
Hey,
tidbit. Okay,
what's that?
so what?
And you know what? The swastika is actually like an ancient Buddhist symbol. So why don't you put a bumper sticker on your fucking car and see
Yeah.
how that goes for you?
Namaste,
You wanna be like
bitch.
pretty proud of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
The Buddhist swastika faces the other way, though. So
Yeah, it does.
People
That's
wouldn't
fine.
know that though.
well, some people know, and those are the people you don't want.
Yeah, if someone corrects me on that,
Yeah.
it's like
Ugh.
red flag.
Hey, buddy.
Red flag with a swastika
What is
on
this
it.
fucking Buddhism? Get this shit off of here. You're like, oh boy.
Brother.
Yeah, the what's funny and all this talk about Elon is the all of the Cybertrucks that are getting vandalized in Manhattan, and from the looks of it, I think
With a
someone
bunch of Buddhist symbols.
yes, with a big Buddhist symbol on one of them, and one was getting another one getting egged repeatedly. And
That's
wrote
expensive.
Nazi on it and spray paint and stuff. And then when I saw, because I mean, just so many people, at least in my Twitter feed, live in Brooklyn and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, what's funny is that this is like one guy. It's happened like 3 times to him because he's an idiot and he just had to own a Cybertruck and he parks it on the fucking street like a moron. And this has happened to him more than once now. And it's like, get rid of your car, dude.
I like that.
Like you're making
Get
You're
a
making
parking
a
spot in the parking
decision.
garage.
Like, even if you were driving a Model Y, it doesn't happen to a Model Y or a Model C or something like that, because it's not the Elon car. It's a Tesla. It's not the Elon mobile. The Cybertruck is a huge eyesore and a thing that says, I love Elon Musk. Because, and I have this argument with people on Twitter every day, because I say, hey, you little wormy nerd, I drive pickup trucks, and I always have, okay? That thing, if you're not getting it for a pickup truck, because for a pickup truck, that thing sucks. It sucks. You're not spending $90,000 on that thing so that you can't haul a 6-foot fucking folding table, okay? If you're going to spend $90,000 on a truck,
can't get it wet.
There are way better trucks that you can get easily, you know? And it's like, so you're buying the truck because you think it's cool and Elon's cool and you think you're cool for driving it. It's not for utility. It's not for anything. It is a statement piece. That's it. And it's like, so
and the statement is,
and
I'm
now,
a loser.
Yeah, and now the statement is, you don't care about the fact that you're associating with a Nazi. That's like, even if you don't agree with the whole Nazi thing, stupidly, the guy who is single-handedly like trying to ruin the U.S. government, the richest man on earth, inserting himself into our affairs. All right.
And the Nazis love him.
He's a bad guy.
So.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. The Nazis love him. He stinks on ice. So your shit's gonna get egged. All right. You know what? I drive a pickup truck. Doesn't get egged. All right. It doesn't. And I'm glad it doesn't, because I wash my truck like once a year. Okay.
Neither does my Mini Cooper. That's a fucking BMW, which is a legit Nazi car.
Yeah. And you used to drive a Volkswagen.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Never got egged.
You're like, I used to drive my Volkswagen in my Hugo Boss suit, going around
wearing my Doc Martens.
Yeah, with the Buddhist symbol on the back, just giving the Roman salute to tell everyone hello. Say, hey, this is just giving the Pledge of Allegiance. And not a single egging.
A Cybertruck.
Yeah. As soon as I got a Cybertruck, everyone started flipping me off. I got a swastika spray painted on it, you know. But, well, we should probably wrap it up.
Let's shout it out to a Krista.
Shout out to Krista. Shout out to Amanda.
Shout out to Krista.
Another new listener.
And Amanda.
And Amanda.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What was the other one? It was just those two?
Yeah, we
the
probably
only
just have two new
we
listeners.
have.
No.
Yeah.
two
just
current
wanted to
Doesn't
say
listeners.
listen anymore.
Don't.
Shout out to
I
R.M.
don't
Brown, our
wanna
Lord and
listen to
Savior,
myself.
and
Shout
Krista
out
and
to R.M.
Amanda.
Brown.
And everyone
Starting
else.
a book club.
Other people do listen, and I do appreciate it.
Thanks
And
for listening. And we should have Discontent Provider on at some point. I
Yeah.
think is the person that was going to be
shout out to Discontent Provider.
next.
And we'll close with this. Speaking of cars and everything.
12 hours a day.
Let's see.
Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common is when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be communist country.
Yeah. So
Pretty soon we're
Kids
gonna be a
can't
communist
smoke
country.
cigarettes anymore.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I love it how she's saying that with like a small child in the seat next to her. That's great. Okay. Well, love you
We
guys.
love it.
Awesome.
Love me.
All right then. Well,
Whoops.
see you later. Bitches leave.
Yeah, I know. I love how both of those people sound kind of similar.
Bitches leave.
Hang on like
Class.
All right, bye.
nothing like a New York slice. Bye.
Bye.